So here we are working on, we went on a walk with his new harness. So if he goes to pull, because he's not like really dragging me when he does. So when he goes to pull, I am adding leash pressure. So I think I'm gonna do it about here in a second. So I choke up on the leash, so I grab it and I pull it behind the seam of my pants, so behind my leg. So right there, just a slight little tug to tell him to stop pulling or going forward, and then mark and feed when he responds to that. And then if he's staying in a good position, mark and feed for him to not pull. I do this the whole entire walk. Now, obviously, if he does stuff like that, I'm not going to correct that because it's just him pulling because he got a little spooked by something. Anytime he's fearful, I am telling him it's okay and getting his attention and clicking and feeding. You'll see a couple times throughout the walk that there are dogs that kind of scare us as they kind of jump out or bark. Anytime that happens, I'm just telling him it's okay. We try to get away from it and then mark and feed when he gives me his focus. Most of the walk he does this. So every time he's looking up at me like that, I'm clicking and feeding and then continuing to walk.
Apparently you want to walk on the left. Hey, One of these houses has a Malinois that literally jumps like 2 feet up to the top of the fence at dogs because he just wants to get them. Hey,
Now if he pulls behind, so here he got smelling on something, I don't really do a whole tug. I grab the leash a little and then we walk forward. So the leash getting tight means, hey, we're going this way, click and feed when he responds to that tension and keep going. So here, tug, click and feed, tug, click and feed, just blocks him from pulling. Now you can also do the backpedaling that we learned, or you could also pivot. Either way is fine. But now that he knows leash pressure, I am able to use the leash to kind of guide him. Like, hey, you're going too far, you need to stop.
That cat looked like Smokey.
Good boy, Juno. Find the food. I expected you to bark back. Good boy. Right here. Come on. Good boy.
You're doing so good, Juno.
It really is. I expected that to cause more jumpiness.
Yeah.
You can smell.
Also, smelling their environment can be a diffusing tactic, so hearing that dog bark might have been a lot for him, which is why I let him smell it out, so he can kind of reset himself from the fear, and then we keep going. And plus, there's nothing bad there, and a lot of my dogs, this is a spot I think a lot of male dogs pee, so they really like to smell it.
There's a park up here?
Yeah.
Man, I don't get out. I don't know.
Agreed. Actually pretty cool. Oh boy. It's got time.
I mean, it's almost like school let out, right?
Yeah, I think it's close to.
I mean, I'm pretty sure it's like 2 o'clock right now. Like on the dot, actually. Yeah, it is 2 o'clock on the dot.
Hey, slow down. Well, this will be good for him. Whoop. Take it slow. Look down. I dropped it. I thought you watched it fall.
Come on, hey, Juno. Keep walking.
Good boy. Okay, now you're looking down for it. Except you didn't. Come here. Right there. You could fall. Oh!
Hey, buddy. Yes, I see you.
You gotta say hi, Aunt Abby. Come in.
Now, this is something really simple, but every time there's a cross, I always make them sit and then use a command of let's go to cross the road. And I do this because it's out of safety, so they really get used to not running into the road. They wait, for our command of whether or not to go forward. Here in a bit, you're going to see a dog kind of rush us or hear it. We get spooked, so it kind of shows what to do in those moments. Because I also got spooked because I wasn't prepared because I didn't think this house had a dog.
No, it's this thing's making noise. So
Oh.
Good. There's usually a shepherd in the yard. Not always. Now, bud, gentle. Can you go potty? No.
Oh, thanks. How's you know?
Okay, come in. Come in. Good. Boy, come on. Keep up, keep up. Come on. Come on, keep up.
Whoa.
Good job. Come on. Nope, leave it.
Oh, that scared the shit out of me. Oh, you scared me. Holy
So obviously we all got startled. So with Juno, tell him it's okay, say come on, and we keep moving. So every time that he looks away from the fear or the dog that's barking, losing its mind, I click and feed. Now if he were to be lunging or barking back, the food would go right to his nose and lure him away before that happens.
Look.
So this is just kind of the way I did it.
He got a little toy. That's so cute.
And that's the
So after
definition of
that, we
frustration
go to a
reaction.
safe distance and we're
He
going to
wants
work
to
through that
play,
fear.
gets frustrated,
So
he's
we
blocked.
chill here every time he looks away from the dog, click and feed. He can kind of take in the fearful
that
stimuli, the dog
confusing
losing its mind,
By grabbing his favorite toy.
from a safe distance that we can
funny.
work on. So here he does get a little spastic. So here in a second we move even further just to give him some more
So, he's scared.
confidence away from the fearful stimuli.
He's taking food really hard. He's keeping his ears back, and he's really watching that dog. So we're at a safe distance. We're obviously, it's not going to be right in his face. But every time he looks at the dog and looks back, click and feed. Good boy. I know. That was a little scary. I normally walk on that side. It's down there. Right here. Here, babe. It's okay. Right here. There you go. Now you found it. Good boy. Can you lay down? It's okay. You're safe. Lay down. Good. He knows lay down really well, but if there's a moment where he's really scared and struggling to do it, you can lure him. Okay, let's go. You're shaking. I don't like how much you're shaking. Come on, babe.
So the shaking was a little bit out of stress and fear. So I noticed that, and then we add more distance away from that dog, and we just go back on our walk to kind of help him reset himself so that he doesn't get flooded by the fearful stimuli. This is a time too that I didn't want him to smell because I wanted to get away from that dog. So instead of allowing him to smell all those places, which I'm sure there's a lot of dogs that probably peed on it, we just kept moving forward. So I allow the leash pressure to guide him. Hey, I want to go forward. Here he gets a little bit fearful. He sees men who were walking kind of towards us, so he got a little bit startled and started to pull, which is why we did the kind of back and forth pivoting for a couple times. And then here we do some neutralizing, as well as some kind of taking things in and just relaxing with him a little bit. And we're working on those men. They were talking to us. They were really keen on looking at him, so he got a little nervous.
Okay, let's go. That's better. Good boy, that's better. Okay, keep up. There's no dog, promise. We don't have any. Right here. Let's go. Come on. Hurry. Boy. Good. Nice job. Good boy.
Throughout this, some of his car fear comes out because there's some pretty loud cars and they go kind of fast on this road. So here I allow him to sniff because I could tell he was a little nervous with the cars. I just have to be careful these days. Sometimes there's burrs, so I had to make sure there wasn't any.
Good boy.
You can hear the loud truck. He got pretty spooked. So anytime that happens where I notice his focus kind of goes away or I can tell he's got some fearful body language, we'll do a little bit of obedience. So I'll have him sit, we'll work him through it. He got a burr here on his chest. I had to get off. But anytime there's something super scary, we'll do a little sit, kind of feed him while it passes, just so that he's safe and controlled and doesn't have to walk towards it, so there's no chance of it to like flight, so he can get really scared. And then once the stimuli goes away, we go back to our walk. So it's just kind of a way to help him through that fear without flooding him to deal with it, but also not avoiding it.